So welcome back. As stated in the previous video, that today we were going to talk about who is a human being. And in the previous video, we talked about how can we define reality. And we strictly said that if we want to define reality, we must first define who is a human being. We must first understand how the human being can work or understand the rest of the world. So today we are going to talk about who is a human being and how can a human being perceives the world or define reality. So before we go further, please subscribe, promote me so that the rest of the world can get some kinds of information that we are talking about. And I also would wish that you share and like the video so that if you have understood this, also like it, that other people can understand it. When you share it, others will watch and understand. So who is a human being? In short, according to the religions, they said a human being is a godlike creature with the soul and with that and all that. But when it comes to reality, or when it comes to how a human being is, we can say a human being is just like a creature that can either define its path, or God can define its path for himself, or for him, I mean. Uh, when we say a being is an entity that has a root that gives it a life. When you have a root, I wish that you understand the root are the core things, the main things that always must be there for the rest of the creature to exist. So just like any other animal, you see the human being or a being can be defined or excluded from the other creatures by four things. A human being is defined, can be defined by the presence of all the six senses for a being. The six senses, when I say the six senses, I mean the sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, the sense of seeing, and taste. But there is something called perception, where you feel that there is something around you or near you. So these six senses, when you see other animals, they either one, maybe you can get that one animal has one sense that is above the rest. Like a dog smells so fast and can smell anything. But in a human being, everything is fully in one place. They are all in the same level. It is up to you to either upgrade one or make them equal all together. So the second one is the complexity of its intellect. How the human mind works is very complex, and this defines a human being very, 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 very high. For example, the human being can think things that animals cannot do, can do things that other animals cannot do. Number three, the ability of acquiring a new status or state. For example, a being like a human being can think that today I want to be a big person, like my body can have some muscles. So if he has that urge inside him, he might walk or do some exercises that can bring that state or that status. But it's not by saying. Sometimes when you upgrade yourself spiritually, you can even speak about something and it happens. And this is the difference. This is the only thing that is not present in other animals. Maybe the rest can be present, but this thing doesn't exist in other animals. The first thing is that the human being yearns to become a different entity or acquire a new life. For example, we wish to go to to a different life. Like if you die today, you want to live in a different world that is different from this kind of a world that we have now. And this is not present in other animals, and that is why a human being is different from the rest of the other animals, because of these four things. But what does that being or human being have inside that always acquire or has the complexity of intellect, or is having all these six senses together? You can call that root as either energy or a soul or a spirit or consciousness, for whichever way you grew up, whichever way language that you have been taught. But the all four, the energy, the soul, the spirit, the consciousness, always have the same qualities, except that the spirit and the soul are having different different definitions and dimensions, but they still speak the same qualities. So in regards to reality, so a human beings can be said to be either an observer or a wanderer or a sensor. When I say sensor, it means a person who perceives using the senses. So these three, when you have, like, for example, you want to define reality, you must first want to define who you are first. Like, you want to know who I am. How do you operate? How do you work in your self? How do you think uh, you are? How do you see the world? So when we have these three, like, you get to know who you are, then you might be defining reality in the way that that state is. For example, the first thing is observer. Observer is someone who acquires or defines understanding anything, or let me say understands anything based on the qualities of that thing. In short, is we call, like we said, this is an objective information. For example, you understand someone based on how that person behaves, how that person lives, works, whatever things you see in that person. When we say wanderer, we mean someone who is having an information about the creature, either based on what other people say or what has been given to that person or taught, like someone gave taught that person about the qualities of that human being. For example, you might find someone having the state, like, if he wants to if he wants to understand the human being, he must first consult who knows the human being. If he wants to understand who is a or what is a red, then he must first want to know who knows about red. Then that person will get the information about red. This person is just wondering. Whatever he gets, he talked about. He pictures it as the qualities of that creature, because other people have said it, other people have had an information about it. So this is someone who has passive information about the creature. The sensor, or that person who perceives, we call it a subjective experiencer, or someone who perceives information based on who he is. For example, this is someone who projects an opinion about a creature, how he understands the creature, how he perceives the creature. For example, the opinion that he is having is based on how he grew up, who brought that child up, where he grew up, and what kind of things that child learned. So when this child wants to picture an information about a creature or what he or she is seeing, then this information would be based on where he grew up, where who taught that child, and what kind of information that child learned earlier. So for us to define reality, we must first understand who we are in regards to what we experience about life or what we know, because we might define reality in different senses, in different ways. For example, now when we say who is real, now who is having the real information between the three groups, for me, the person who is having real information is the first one, the observer. Because if I have to understand you, my friend, i have I don't have to put an opinion about you. I don't have to ask other people about you. I have to just watch you, what you're doing, how you behave, who you relate. Then I will have to define that this person, you are this kind of a person, you behave this way because I have seen it, not because this is how I understand you, this is how people are talking about you. I have to understand who you are so that I get what really is you. So this is the rest of the information that we must know about defining reality. If you want to define reality, you must first know what kind of a person you are, an observer or a wanderer or a sensor, because we have all defined realities in different ways. And believe me, some of them relate, some of them overlap, but this is just the way that people have been living in life. But we must first use observation to define reality. We use observation to define reality. So thank you very much, and please subscribe my channel so that you get the next video. The next video will be what? The subjective reality and the objective reality. Thank you very much.